So Justin Baldoni's lawyer just responded to Blake Lively's motion to dismiss herself from the case or dismiss his lawsuit outright. Says Blake is abusing the legal system, slams her motion to dismiss the lawsuit. We have got to get into the details. I talked earlier about her motion to dismiss his case against her, and it all circles around a California law that came about last January of 2024. That it's a provision that basically says that if someone files a sexual harassment complaint, sexual assault complaint, a discrimination complaint, any of those things, that they then can't be the person that they're accusing can't turn around and sue them in a retaliatory manner, if that makes sense. So you can't, like, I go to California, I file my complaint, then you get notice of this, and then you try to sue me to, I guess, bankrupt me, bury me in litigation. And especially if you're more powerful. And if you think about, especially just take one portion of that, if it's sexual harassment in the workplace and you're accusing one of your higher ups, usually a boss or someone like that, or, could go all the way to the top of the company, well, they can afford to possibly bury you in litigation, or that individual could. And then, so you're not able to even keep up with things, because as we can see in this case, it's adding up to millions of dollars. And this is how people abuse the legal system, especially those who have money, those who have power. But there's also another person who can abuse it, and that is people who make false claims. So the false claims, I went through that earlier on why I do not believe this applies to Blake Lively for several reasons. Already, I believe her case proves malice and several other things. And then it has to be true, it has to be factual, it has to be reasonable. And I go through all of that, then comparing it to, New York, where she actually was working, versus California, and she even lives in New York. So there's a lot to go over. I will make sure I link that video at the end of this. But now Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Bryan Freedman, has responded. And when I saw the exclamation, that looks like how I am on X when I'm like describing something. So here we go. Justin Baldoni's lawyer is firing back at Blake Lively's attempt to cut herself out of the ongoing legal drama surrounding the film It Ends With Us. Bryan Freedman tells TMZ Miss Lively's recent motion to dismiss herself from the self-concocted disaster she initiated is one of the most abhorrent examples of abuse, of abusing our legal system. He said, "You are abhorrent." I say she's an abomination, but okay. Freeman says stringent rules are put into place to protect innocent and allow individuals to rightfully defend themselves, while noting laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda. Child. Earlier today, TMZ broke the story that Blake filed her motion to dismiss, saying Baldoni violated the law by filing his own lawsuit for the purpose of revenge. Blake says Baldoni filed this defamation suit against her husband, Ryan Reynolds, and her publicist, Leslie Sloan, right after she filed for her lawsuit against him. In her suit, Blake accused Justin of sexually harassing her and launching a smear campaign during the filming of the flick. As you know, Baldoni was the movie's director and Blake's co-star. Well, I found information. She thought she was the director. That's what she wanted. This was a rug pull for her. This is what she self-described herself as being manipulative and conniving and lying and sneaking and betraying, and even going outside the rules and scope of her contract, going outside of the rules and scope of what she was hired for, that she agreed to. And then she tries to go in and take over a movie because that's what she feels like is owed to her. That is the arrogance of Blake Lively. And we can even see that throughout her even filing all of this stuff and trying to smear Justin Baldoni and blaming her bad reputation on him, when it was she who caused her reputation to fail by how people saw how she acted in public in interviews. We saw the bullying. We saw the arrogance. We saw a woman who is promoting a domestic violence movie by saying it's not even about that, by saying it's, it's a big, beautiful summer movie, completely devoid from reality. And so I'm not going to redo that, but I was on a flow, guys. Let's continue. Okay. And so it says, or here it is. As we reported Wednesday, Reynolds was first to file a motion to be dismissed from Baldoni's suit, claiming Justin labeled him as a predator. But Reynolds argued it's not defamation because he believes the statement to be true and Justin would have to prove otherwise. That's not all his argument was. It wasn't just opinion, which is what they're saying here. He's also saying in there that it's also a fact. It is also true. And he included things into that motion that can't even be reviewed by the judge. So I do not see this having a leg to stand on, his him wanting to be dismissed from the suit. But with this California law, it's tricky and we've got to get into the weeds of it. And again, I want to see his filing because I'm not a lawyer, but it's just my interpretation that it does not have wheels when you start to look at what qualifies as retaliatory abuse of the system or to going after your accuser. And then her just being the accuser, she does not meet the burden of proof that is in the actual law from what I'm seeing. And the evidence shows additional malice and things like that. Again, I'm not a lawyer. That's my interpretation. We got to wait for receipts. In his statement to TMZ, Freedman reiterated, as we said yesterday in response to Mr. Reynolds, saying cowardly measures, we will continue to hold Miss Lively accountable for her actions of pure malice, which also includes falsely accusing my client of harassment and retaliation. Freedman summed it up by saying Blake's fantastical claims will be swiftly debunked as discovery moves forward, easily disproved with actual evidentiary proof. We reached out to Blake's team for comment. So far, no word back. Guys, it's late. I'm not reading well. But there you go, guys. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. This is Melanie Off Script. This isn't my main channel. So I'm just talking about the case over here. I'm going to probably talk about other cases. I may start doing live streams where we comb over the actual filings and all of that good stuff. So make sure you are subscribed and that you're following me on social media. My links are below in the description box. All right, guys, have a good night.